I've got to be honest, I have no idea how to schedule a stream. I had one scheduled to let people know I was going to be here, but then I didn't know how to do it. So I deleted that and I'm just going live. And if you're watching this later, then ignore that. So I didn't have too much of a plan about what I wanted to talk about today because I got some questions, but I kind of just want to go over some refresher stuff. It's been a while. A lot of us are getting back on the water. I'm going to answer one question. If I can find it, I did just have it up. But if you have any questions that you want answered, I think you could just type and let me know. And I can go over those. But otherwise, I'm going to probably plan to just talk about what coaches are looking for, steering a little bit, maybe some motivational and technical calls, stuff like that. I do have videos dedicated to each, but I don't know. So I'm going to go over this question that I just got yesterday. It says, how would you get better with windy days? Because sometimes I will need to turn a lot, and so I'll have my rudder to one side and starboard on full pressure and ports easing up, and even adding in extra people, but then it will turn slowly and get me fixed, and I'll try to make small adjustments to get it back even, because then I don't want to be turning too much to one side or the other. However, when I try to make small adjustments, it's as if I'm turning too much and now I need to go back. I try not to make super big adjustments like you mentioned and keep them small but constant. I don't want to let my boat down. Okay. What's happening in this situation, if I'm understanding you correctly, is that even though you're making small adjustments, you are still overcorrecting. If you end up being too pointed and then you actually need to come back, it's still an overcorrection, even though you did it with small adjustments and small taps. You still overdid it. So keep in mind that whatever adjustment you're making, whether it's a big adjustment or a small adjustment, that adjustment doesn't take full effect if it's rudder until the next stroke or within 3 strokes. So you kind of need to anticipate coming back to center and even pressure prior to actually hitting that point. Otherwise, your rudder is going to keep turning. Even when you put it back straight, you're going to continue turning. And then you need to come back. So that's why we make small adjustments, is so that we don't end up overcorrecting, but it's still possible to overcorrect even with those small adjustments. You can end up overturning too much. So let's see. It sounds like you're trying lots of different things, which is awesome. Windy days are tough. I think that you have to just do your best to handle the wind, and some of that's going to be rudder. I know that some coaches and coxswains will say only to steer with rudder when the blades are in the water. I have never thought that was a big deal personally, especially if you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like only steering when their blades are in the water and then coming back. I think it's better just to be smooth. Maybe start that adjustment if they're in the water, and then kind of hold it. When you are on rudder, it does affect the set of the boat, and the rowers will feel that drag. So that's another reason smaller adjustments are good. Here's one thing I will say for big adjustments, because they are not all bad. If you are trying to steer a straight course, like if it is kind of a meters thing, then it is going to be better to just get your point more quickly rather than taking a really long turn in order to get straight. So say I'm doing steady state and I'm noticing that my point is way off. Now I need to be this way and I'm pointing like the wrong way. I will make a big adjustment pretty quickly. And you can kind of let them know that either with your words, or they'll figure it out by you saying like, hey, I need 2 strokes with ports. I just need you completely off pressure. And starboard's power. I mean, it's up to you and your style how much information you need to communicate to them. But and if it's not a race or a power piece, if you are newer and struggling with finding a point, I think it's better just to sort of stop. I say stop, and I mean stop, but I don't mean come to a full stop and weigh enough and hold water. What I mean is have one side stop rowing and get your point, however that is. Whether that's weigh enough, have one side hold water, and then pick back up, or whether it is having everyone weigh enough and having starboards take one big stroke, whatever it is, that will get your point. It depends. We're always thinking about efficiency, where we don't want to just try to do the thing that is going to be most efficient. And if it's going to be most efficient to continue rowing and have one side power down for 10 strokes and add in a rower on the other side, if that's going to be most efficient and keep you up with the other boats and whatever's going on, do that. If you are pointed way the wrong way, it might be more efficient to weigh enough for 3 seconds, have one side hold water, have one side take a big stroke, and then pick back up quickly. And you need to make sure your rowers understand that we respond quickly to coxswains. That's why we never let our rowers be super duper slow, even when it's not an emergency, because then they get used to lollygagging. And we always want to be like, when I make a command, it happens now. So that's, is there more advice for steering? Small adjustments are good. You can steer with rudder. Make sure you anticipate. Basically, you're steering for 3 boat lengths ahead of you, 3 strokes ahead of you, what you need to be doing in 3 strokes. So we come back to center. Wind is tough. I like to have rowers square up later if there's a lot of wind behind their blades, meaning headwind. There we go. Let's see. And now I don't have any other questions pulled up. I'm just going to give you guys some calls. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see. Let's try some technical calls. You can also do what coaches are looking for. I don't think I've ever seen comments while I'm streaming. So if you comment, then I will know what it looks like. If you comment while I'm streaming, then maybe I will know. Okay. Let's do technique calls. Some of the common technique calls in a piece or in a race are going to be like long drive. It's a good one. I've never used that one. Have I? I probably have at some point. But keeping that length. So length, long drive, long under the water with the legs, lengthen out, push back. We can also work on the bodies over. So bodies over, getting all the way over is a really good technique call to call in racing and in pieces. Legs on together. It's a really good one. I like that. Getting legs on together. Focus. Always we focus on all the different things. You can focus on the drive. You can focus on the catch. You can focus on power, moving together, the stroke, the boat. Focus on your own boat. Not the other boats. That is like my signature move, is focusing on my own boat. I'm always like, stop paying attention to them. Pay attention to you. Pay attention to us. Heads in the boat. Faster and longer. You can see that these are technical calls. They're very similar to motivational calls, but there's just a difference on what we're focusing on. Focusing on with power or settling in or catches in quick. Is focusing on what they're doing, technique, rather than the pushing harder. Feeling good, that's a fun one. Swing together, drive and accelerate, settle and relax. And motivational calls, which everyone always asks me for motivational calls. And I've made an entire video on why I don't like to just give motivational calls to memorize. But here's some calls. Stand on it. That's a fun one. Stand on it. Okay. Squeeze it. I've asked before other coxswains when they hear squeeze it what they think it means. And it's different. I've had coxswains say, well, I don't like squeeze it because you're thinking about squeezing the hands. And yeah, we don't want to do that. Squeeze, like you can be thinking about squeezing all the muscles and squeezing your glutes. Also, I always thought it meant kind of like, I would say squeeze up. So squeeze up into the body, just meaning that quick hands into the body. Keep building. I like that one too. Dig deep. That clearly is a motivational call, right? Dig deep for that extra motivation, that drive, that power. Give me everything you got. Very common. Classic. You need to move. Also a classic. Move now. This is your race. These are classic calls. You can also say they're standard or basic, but they're good. This is your race. One crew together all the way to the finish. It's a longer one. Take the water, take the race, take this race back. Man, you guys, I have not been in a race in so long. These are like slowly getting my wheels turning. I have not raced in such a long time. We are not stopping here. Attack. It's my favorite, if you know that. Walking off the drive. Never heard it said that way, walking off the drive. For walking, right? You're walking. We are walking. We've got them. Wipe them out. Get on it. Leave nothing on the water. I like that one a lot too. I do say leave nothing on the water. And the next one, empty the tank. I say that one a lot too. Empty the tank. Leave nothing on the water. Stroke by stroke. I don't know how I feel about that one. Stroke by stroke. You could make it work. You could put a spin on it. They can't touch us. I have said that. They know we are coming. See, that to me is motivation right there. They know we're coming. That's get in your heads kind of motivation. That's psych the other team out. That's it for me. No one can stop us. They are fading. I've said things like that a lot too. That's motivating because you're saying the other boats suck, basically. And it's you keep going because we're going to catch them. Small caveat, small tangent. Find that fine line of motivating your crew, but not lying. Right? That's very tough. I believe in never lying to your crew because then they will not believe you. So if you are losing by 5 boat lengths and you're trying to motivate your crew, don't yell things like, they're fading, because your boat will never trust you again. And they know you're lying. They know that that's not true. They know it does not matter. So be smart with your calls. That's again why I don't just like giving just motivational calls to memorize. Be smart with your calls. You can still be truthful and be motivating. So maybe don't focus on they're fading, they're running their wheels, stuff like that. Focus on this next one, which is give me more. That makes more sense. Focus in on your boat, right? Maybe those technical ones that with power drive together, that's going to be your motivation. Focus on those technical ones. It's tough. It's tough. It's hard when you're losing. But if you are right next to another boat or you actually believe that they are losing power, then you throw that in there. Then you say they're fading. We want gold. This is your time. Prove yourselves. Go crazy. Bend the oar. Hear that one in my head. There was Ignatius. Coxswain from Ignatius. Is that it? I hear him in my head. Bend the oar. pry it around. Ooh, that's a nice one. I like that. It doesn't just say pry. I say pry a lot, but pry it around. We're going around the pin. Make this boat fly. Ooh, I missed that. Reel them in, hold them off, keep the fire. Make yourself stronger here. Oh man, I love that one. I've used that a lot too, especially in practices. When you're trying to be motivational for practice, it's make yourself stronger. It's, oh, I love when you're winning and you want your boat to give you even more. It's like, I don't care that we're winning. Make yourself stronger here. Hang on it, show me you want it, own it. Okay, make the move. That's a good one. I'm just going to throw that one in, make every stroke count. Let's see. Do you guys want... Oh, here's some for set. Yeah, I'm going to give these. Well, these are kind of boring. Set it up. The boat's not set. You can just say, set it up. It's on port side, it's on starboard side, set it up. I do like that's a little more information, especially if you don't know how to make the adjustment. Tell them we're down on this side or it's on this side. It's another way of saying it's down. Watch your hand levels, straight in, straight out, or something to that effect. You can also say keep it off port or on or off starboard, whichever side you're down on. Don't drop your hands at the catch. That's going to help set the boat. If you are, okay. If your boat is making a sudden change right about at the catch, if you are suddenly going down to port at the catch, that means that they are suddenly port side or somebody on port is lowering their hands right at catch. You can see it's been a while. I have to think about it. I have to think about the physics of when their hands go down, that means their blades go up. And when their blades go up, the boat goes down on that side. People rarely raise their hands too high before the catch. After the catch, maybe, digging deep. Keep your hand levels consistent. Work together to set the boat. That's a good one if you keep saying set. Square up at the same time. You do need to do that. But, let's see. I'll just give you guys a couple, and then let's see how long this stream is. Oh, it's long. Sorry. Okay. Commonly, let's just do the drive and release. Ratio is that's a classic. Love ratio, long and strong. Rhythm, feel the run of the boat or feel the boat run. That kind of catch 2, 3, 4. That's never been my favorite. I find it because I think it's hard. I do use it, but I don't think it always gets through because you kind of have to do it with your stroke seat. It can be hard. Cadence. I'll leave you on that. Okay, so these calls, memorizing them is great. They do a lot, but how you say them also matters. So I do have videos on this as well. But if you're having an issue with ratio, you can be saying all these things about, lengthening out, keeping it long, slowing it here, quickening it here. But the way you say it's also going to matter. So I work on saying things slower and longer when you want them to slow down. Even if you're giving a completely different instruction, like right now while I'm talking to you, I can talk in a way that is slower on that recovery and then quicker through the drive, right? And you can say shorter, punchier things, right? Short, punchy. And then that kind of, it's like the quick here and it's the slow, long, up and go. And we can work on explaining what you're trying to do in the way that you speak. and tone of voice. All right, I'm going to leave you guys with that because that's 20 minutes. If you have questions, leave them for me, and I will be back next Thursday around the same time, 8:30 or so. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope this helps. Bye, guys.